Saudi Arabia. That's where Naraka Bladepoint is hosting their $500,000 esports competition. And that's where we are going.
Hello.
Welcome to Esports World Cup.
You can qualify for this, right? But to do good in this is really hard.
So we just arrived in Riyadh after being on the coldest airplane ever. And now we are in the hottest place ever. It's like 32, 33 degrees at 8 p.m. Like, it's completely crazy. Cheers!
My first Saudi Arabian dinner was freshly squeezed pomegranate juice and sizzling lamb meat in a clay pot called fukhar. It was very delicious. Naraka Bladepoint is a melee-focused battle royale fighting game with stunning graphics set in medieval China. Its complex combat system is a beautiful rabbit hole with a very high skill ceiling. It is available free to play on Steam, Epic Games and the official website. Many thanks to the Naraka team for inviting me to EWC.
Hey, I'm here with Zay's coach, Lexon.
Hello guys.
Hello.
So excited.
How do you find it so far, Lexon?
The experience is awesome. The luxury is literally concentrated here. It's a very, very good experience.
And how do you like the arena?
The arena is hell awesome. The center of the arena can like rise up in level. There is a bunch of smoke, coming from the ground, different heights. And also all the animations and like the visuals are absolutely insane.
Get ready for the most epic showdown on the main stage, because today is match point format. Let's do this!
In this fight, Mike is in such a bad position, but watch how cool he plays it. He gets F up on very low HP, but instead of ulting, he kites to an armor swap. His Gay Rush outspeeds Zay's Gay Rush attempt, forcing out the Kylan F. Creative play from Zay trying to hold check into slap, but Mike dodges and lands chip damage. He parry baits, forcing Zay to pre-input Kylan ult to avoid stagger. Mike does not take any pressure. He sends a focus and 2 light attacks, immediately proccing the immortality mechanic. The Syra ult startup almost fully negates the first Kylan attack, the next to connect, but Mike gets out, hits the dazzle and confirms the kill.
How did you like the competition?
Competition was very fierce. I liked it though, but it was very fierce. You can notice the discipline that the Chinese player have in their play. And yeah, they're just really clean with it. It was really hard, but I still really enjoyed it. Like even when I died, I get to see like pro play, and it's always nice to watch it. But yeah, sometimes it was a little bit dismotivating because I think even though I played pretty decent, I think I can play better. For example, at one point, I did Liam Infinite combo, which I do like 100 times a day with the knives, and I drop it like that. It's just illegal to drop that stuff. So yeah, I really liked it, but I think I could have played better. But I also need to get better.
This is one of the most insane Teemo comebacks I've seen in my entire life. Jigen hits an F, refreshes and hits another, fits in 2 musket shots, another F, 2 musket shots, another F, another musket shot, another F, another musket shot, and a hung focus attack that finishes T2 to 5. In this 3-player endgame, Tryhard doesn't have any grapples. I think he has been searching for a body, but the only body is down the rocks at the edge of the circle. He tries to get out of this predicament by initializing with a blue fall. The parry does not connect, but he takes some chip damage, a focus attack, and his F is forced. This makes him the optimal target in this endgame, and he cannot stop at the body to loot grapples. What makes this situation even worse is that both Edward and Arano have cannon with Rupture Gale and Burn. Edward is rebranded Wangliang. You might remember him from my previous content about Jacob. Both enemies will now take turns focusing Tryhard and denying his resets, while occasionally repairing their cannon. Tryhard is forced to ult, and while Lani dashes do restore a bit of HP, he isn't allowed to properly reset. Wangliang makes the strategic decision to activate Tsuna, fully knowing that this might give Arano a kill. But endgame Syra with Rupture Gale, the extra HP from the ult and active Tsuna is simply worth more than 1 kill. Wangliang fires 2 more of the burning cannon shots at Tryhard, but he is also careful to ration his shots. It's not likely to get another repair in a 1v1, so he needs to save some cannonballs for heal off. Tryhard does somehow just barely manage to find a reset behind a rock formation, but is quickly shut down with back-to-back scale rushes from both players. Down to 2 players, Wangliang charges Tsuna one more time, but he doesn't have time to reactivate the armor heal, so he cancels early while dodging a cannon shot. They scale rush, and Arano manages to connect an uppercut, but Wang Lang is holding blue in the air and doesn't need to commit F. They exchange more cannon shots, but bad terrain causes Arano to fail a scale rush that comes out as jump LMB instead. He pre-inputs F to avoid getting punished, and Wang Lang ults at the same time. The early Syra ult maximizes blood for the shadow and armor due to Tsuna, allows for dazzle and protection from stagger. Arano hits his second Pokeball, but Wang Lang kept F to quickly close the gap again with a camera flick. Wang Lang hits one extra burning cannonball, and with all the tiny efficiency optimizations in his play, he wins with a small HP advantage.
What would you describe your experience as a coach like?
As a coach, it's a lot of review, it's a lot of data collection, and then you also need to think about how you can convert a lot of information into very consumable, little bits of info. Because obviously, if you try to prepare your player in a couple of days before the tournament, he cannot consume insane amount of infos. So you need to make a summary of everything and make it very consumable for your players.
What surprised me in this competition was the chasedown potential of Yoto. In EU, since the rework, I haven't seen her getting played a lot on a high level, so she kinda flew under my radar. She turned out to be a really strong pick for these competitors, so I see her in a different light now. This Yang clip is another Yoto steamroll, and what stands out to me in particular is that Liam doesn't even activate his ult. We are talking about pro play here, and there was a stagger gap where he could have ulted. I think he literally just gave up psychologically because of how one-sided this fight against Yoto was.
And do you feel like small mistakes are punished a lot here?
Yeah, insanely. It's insane. One small mistake. If there's multi-way fighting going on with the Yang depletion, if you do in that situation one small mistake, you're dead. Let's say there are 4 players, right? You kill one. There's a bloom. You take the bloom, and someone sees you taking the bloom and staggers you. You use your F. 3 people see that you use your F. 3 people go on you, because one is Yang depletion, he will fully push you, and the other 2 will just coast on that. It happened to me, and then you just insta-die. In EU, this is not the case.
This is one of the most bizarre moments in the entire tournament. Mike has Yang depletion, and his biggest rival Spider has just died to another party. Mike doesn't even see it on his screen, but he guesses the location from the cannonball impact. 2 others are dancing around the body, not taking the soul bloom to avoid getting staggered. So Mike just goes below, hangs onto the ceiling and takes it. In the endgame of round 3, Xin and Verse are fighting. Syra ultimate can be very effective against Shale. If Syra avoids using charged attacks, she can beam Shale without triggering her protective stance and giving her shields. So from the perspective of Shale, you want to force the Syra ult while you are still high HP. But this is not what's happening at all. Shale F has been forced, Syra hits a combo, and Shale ult is forced. Xin is stacking advantage on top of advantage on top of advantage and completely destroying Verse. He even has a gold armor swap ready from the Yang Spirit Well. But watch what happens next. Verse is starting to patiently grind himself through Shin's armor using shield attacks, fan chip damage combos, and low damage tech chases. The Syra F against CLMB is a waste in my opinion. That Verse manages to get a heal off is nothing short of spectacular. Shin is ready to parry the focus attack, but the timing and spacing don't allow it to connect. Verse hits a fan wind attack and manages to link an uppercut. If the terrain was any better, he would have clutched it right there. What a comeback. Verse tries to finish it with a bow shot, but Shin is so close that he can punish it with a chip damage combo. With the Syra ult pre-input, the tables turn again and Verse needs to kite out the light beam. But his stamina is empty, so he must jump. The house is sadly in the shadow and cannot give him shelter. He is struggling with all his might against the Syra ult, but at the very last second, he dies before the ultimate deactivates. He almost pulled off an impossible comeback from a truly desperate situation.
And do you have one tip you would give to EU players who want to qualify next time?
Okay, hardware maxing is very important. Buy a 4090 with the best CPU and then practice a lot. It's literally just put in the hours, guys, and make your practice worth it. So don't do random bullshit grand solo ranked for ELO at 1 PM, but do 0-man, do movement practice, do scrims. More than anything.
And the state religion of Saudi Arabia is Sunni Islam. What you can hear over the PA is an Adhan, the call to prayer. Muslims believe in one God they call Allah. The religion was founded around 1400 years ago by the Prophet Muhammad, who has received the word of God from the angel Gabriel. It has been written down in the Holy Scripture, the Quran. Hotels in Saudi Arabia offer a prayer mat and help you find Qibla, the direction of the sacred mosque in Mecca. This 3-way fight in the hot drop opens with a double parry for Arano. I think Verse tries to fit in an F because he is the second to get parried, but regrets it immediately because the execution comes out fast and hits both. With both players' F and armor gone, both ult. Justina has the option to use multiple dashes to fully disengage. If so, Syra cannot catch her, but Verse spots an armor swap and chooses to re-engage. Arano understands his intention and uses some of the ult to heal himself. He manages to hit a sneaky dazzle and cancels the ult early to go for a combo. Verse is forced to F. I find this play inspirational. I would not have thought of cancelling my Syra ult this early. In this fight between Mike and Spider, Spider is forced to F early. Mike gets knocked back, so Spider tries to grapple out, but Mike can catch up. Spider counter-grapples into both shots to chip away some armor. Mike then hits a parry and starts a Liam Infinite with the Fistblade Blue Uppercut Jade. This can potentially 100-0 Spider. But Frostivus passes by and Mike's melee auto-aim accidentally misfires. This is really awkward. The optimal target just changed from Spider to Mike. Mike is forced to kite, he gets out the dagger and runs away with half of the lobby targeting him. He runs away for a solid 3 minutes and eventually gets ult back up, which is an insane achievement at this high level of competition. But since he has lost some armor and blood, the aggro stays on him and the vultures pluck him apart. Saudi Arabia is an extreme contrast between hot and cold. Think 45 degrees outside and 17 degrees inside. Their ACs are strong. After being indoors for a while, going out feels like warming yourself at a bonfire, even if it's a dust storm instead of sun. But after 1 minute, it's enough and time to go back inside. If the country was a dish, it would be fried ice. Camping a flag and using Tsuna to bait out 2 dodges and an F is not something I thought I would see. I love everything about this layered mind game. Since Zell fell for it and used so many dodges, he has to jump against one of Spider's attacks to avoid taking a full combo. Zell wants to avoid using his ultimate here because it would guarantee that he gets third-partied and focused down, so he fights back with the engraving Longsword Soul Jade. Spider uses a poke that one-shots Zell. Honestly, I really don't like these pokes. The game is so delicately balanced around stamina, F and V, an unpredictable one-shot mechanic like this does not fit the rest of the game. Spider is in a very bad shape now. No armor, no F. He is trying to buy time for Tsuna to heal him, but of course T225 knows this and goes on the offensive. Spider hits a vertical focus and keeps hold checking RMB to space. T225 fishes for a combo, but when he eventually hits it, he does not have stamina to toothpick and opts for an LMB. But his next focus attack gets parried. Spider has the red longsword now, releases a vertical 2.0 because T225 has F. He blue tops a stuff LMB, which forces the Shale F. He hits a slap and Shale has to ult. T225 burns through the 3 Shale defenses pretty quickly. Spider commits the Lani ult, and with no more protective stances for Shale and the F quickly taken, that's enough to wrap things up. The most popular Saudi Arabian dish is chicken shawarma. It comes in many different styles. I ordered a very spicy one. It made me cry and I loved it. There is something truly mesmerizing about how this 4-way fighting and contesting the young spirit well is a live ecosystem in perfect balance. If any of the players overextends a little too much, everything can catastrophically fail in an instant. While there is fighting and even an ultimate committed, there are too many equally good opportunities and risks, so everything is in a kind of superposition. For a moment it looks like Frostivus getting parried is the collapse, but Zell takes a focus attack from behind, Frost resets and Zell gets parried shortly after. Frostivus is not Chinese but Indonesian. Nonetheless, he displays a strong performance especially in Game 5, and he also won a lobby in J-Cup 23. His performance is on par with the Chinese, despite China being the most professionalized and popular region for the game. Frostivus travels a lot to play in other regions, he's played everywhere except in EU. Currently he's competing for the Vietnamese esports team BBE. Spider's F has been forced and he lost a lot of armor, so he has to go into kiting mode and scale rush around the hills. T225 chases him and tries to force his ult, while Frostivus is gaining control of the young spirit well. Zell does not want to risk too much against the Dragon Roar and goes for a reset, while T eventually succeeds in forcing Spider's ult. Spider is now the focus target of the lobby, while Frost can comfortably secure the buff and an armor swap. Spider gets eliminated by the pack, and Frostivus can now split his attention between the other two. His buff, full armor and ult make him so strong that he is never the optimal target, so the others are put in a predicament where the best option is to kill each other, even if Frost will kill the survivor. T225 manages to heal in a critical moment, which causes a target switch to Zell. Since everyone but Frost had to use their ultimates, both of the weakened players get eliminated before getting their ults back up. Frostivus navigated the 4-way fighting well, and after taking the spirit well, he ended it in a safe but confident style.
而且这个时候应该正面不断的捏左虚就行了。但对方毕竟是匕首，想和你再拉扯，但伤害吃不住，还有一个苍牙最后的一脚。
Which of your fights are you going to remember the most?
Probably when I had Young Depletion, and there was the Vada that was around that also had Young Depletion. I was fighting him outside, and then I noticed how hard the difference is in China play versus EU play. His spacing was just perfect with pistol and with melee attacks. His punish game was insane. If I use my LLEMF and then tap dodge, in EU you're out. Here, he first dodge my F, then chase my tap dodge. Like I need to tap dodge, repair dodge after that, or I need to delay using my F. Like I can see the cleanliness in their play, and it's just very, very disciplined.
So in EU, a lot of people really look up to you. And what would you tell someone who wants to qualify to such a competition?
Yeah, just watch the Chinese, watch what they do, and try to copy it and practice hard. Like you can qualify for this, right? But to do good in this is really hard in the EU environment because there are a lot of stuff here that you don't realize in EU. For example, certain skill rush angles and other plays that just no one does in EU, and now they happen here and they take you by surprise. You were like, wait, this is possible in the game? Like sometimes I was like, wait, you can do this? And I thought I know like everything, but no, I don't. Like this was a good knowledge check that there's still lots and lots of stuff to learn.
The final fight of the tournament is between Mike and Spider. Mike, in Kaiden ult and with Young Depletion, kills T2 to 5 and takes his Soul Bloom. So Spider has his Shale ult, but Mike is only at 30% rage. In the last few seconds of the Kaiden ult, Mike tries to damage Spider a little, but it fails and he's forced to F out instead. Spider chases Mike, but gets stuck on terrain. His attempt to grapple up gets immediately punished by Cavalry Boom. Spider has engraving and sets up a Scare Rush with it. Mike prepares a Scare Rush trap as if Spider is gonna chase, but Spider instead powders and just perfectly fits it in. This is huge because he has advanced heal. Mike starts a combo, causing Spider to F. Spider's Scare Rush fails to catch Mike's Wake Up. Mike hits a Cavalry Bloom and jump LMB. Spider is pretty low now, so he uses his Dagger Book to space. Mike starts powdering, changes mind and grapples in. Spider is still animation locked, so he pre-inputs ult. The first shield misses. Mike tries to hit a B1, but Spider half-charges a combo starter. Mike Fs. He tries to proc all shields, but gets a bit too greedy and caught in a combo. Spider anticipates Mike's half-charge and fits in another jump LMB. The shield bash gets absorbed by Kaiden ult startup. The first slash fuels one more shield, and a POV change confuses us all. Now we are Mike hunting Spider, but up against the new gold armor swap. We still have half a Kaiden ult and favorable downhill terrain. Nom nom. The ult runs out, and while we do have F and Spider doesn't, we play it safe because we are professional. Another perspective change to Spider. 7 seconds cooldown on the F, prepare Scare Rush. But we take the full reset with advanced seal and all. Inventory check shows that we have 2 Model Defiances, Quick Charge Thunder Call, and we are reminded of the Dagger Book that shouldn't be in the game according to the YouTuber. We're done fixing our broken relationships and childhood trauma and are ready to face our demon. Pistol, especially with Thunder Call, can damage through walls. Of course we remember that from that one explainer video. Mike doesn't go for a reset, so this advantage of 355 is actually pretty huge. Scissor parry into 2.0, but the jump LMB misses because Mike dodges with Phantom Step. He goes for chip damage 1-3 and we F against the 3. Scare Rush to force out Kaiden F, which sends us to Narnia for another reset. But since we have advanced heal and Mike doesn't, we are okay with that. Mike tries to counter grapple but too slowly. Scare Rush angle or parry? Time to use the book before Mike has F again, but he actually dodges most of it. He also dodges the LMB, undo. Kite up the building to stall for the next F, ult or Scare Rush. This engraving was not worth it. The stab parry hits like a truck. This looks Scare Rushable, but no backdoor. We clash. We find chip damage, but insane dodge parry by Mike. Now we're Mike cause we're winning, what a plot twist. Body language experts will analyze Mike's face if he expected the Model Defiance. F gone, no ult for Mike. Mike tries to half charge, but we're one step ahead and set up a trap, blue topping Mike. Chinese casters are going crazy, audience going... We actually couldn't have asked for a better showdown. In China, Spider and Mike are known as the Twin Stars, the 2 most skilled Naraka players. They clashed many times in this tournament and in previous ones, And now Spider took the title from Mike. The final battle was pure cinema too. Team Specific Reaction did not only win the solos EWC, but also the trios on the next day, and they only needed 4 games. Their reaction is absolutely amazing and specific?
SR with so many kills. There you see it, the celebration coming through, the emotion. You can see it on their faces plain as day. What is going on? The stars aligned. You can see it on all these other players' faces. They can't believe it. SR